This is the Mad Dragons Podcast. Well, g'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mad Dragons Podcast. How good is it to be coming to you after we've had a win? We have beaten the Gold Coast Titans, and some of what I said was going to happen, the Dragons showed it in this game. I'm a little overwhelmed at the moment, to be honest. It has been such a big build-up to this game. It has been so chaotic. There's been so much negativity. There have been so many Dragons fans hammering me from all sides saying, "You're a fucking idiot for thinking that they can win games of footy." And they came out today and after being down 12 points to 2, managed to fight back and put together a performance like that. Big T, I don't even know what to say. I mean, what are your thoughts on what it was that the Dragons put together there today?
Well, they actually put together a good game today. The ball was actually out in front of players. It wasn't behind them. Wasn't out. They had a few unfortunate passes, but they ran hard. Zane Musgrave and Ben Murdoch-Masila, mate, they're our Mongols now. They both had awesome games. Jacob Little, mate, from dummy half. Oh my God, he's a revelation. I'm telling you. I said when we brought him that the Tigers did look better with Jacob Little on the field. Well, they let him go for Simpkins, and he didn't have a good game today. But yeah, it was Lomax, Rava, Sully had a good game. The whole team played well. Yeah, Ben Hunt was outstanding. Yeah, it was just too good. Blake Laurie led from the front, scored his second try. Oh, Blake, well done, son. I love that kid. No, I was quite happy with their performance today, Donnie.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. I mean, I think as people can probably tell from home, I'm a bit taken aback by how well they played. It's not necessarily how well they played, because I always knew what it was that this group of men were capable of doing. I don't know. It's just the fact that they're able to come out and do it in round 2. I thought there were definitely some signs there of inaccuracy, particularly early on, where they weren't quite hitting the mark, but we were creating chances. We were creating chance after chance, and there was a few passes that just kind of went over the shoulder, and they weren't able to take full advantage of the chances that they were creating. So I always felt that if they could get a few things right, a few things go their way, then they were going to be able to step up and take it to the next level. And as the game went on, they just got stronger and stronger. And I think they've got a lot of improvement in them, mate. I think
plenty of improvement.
Yeah, I think they can be better. And looking at the opposition that we've got ahead of us, they have to be better, don't they?
It has to be better next week against the Broncos. Although we didn't play well in the first 15 minutes when they scored all their first half points. They scored 12 points in the first half. Then we came back with 20, 25 to go and scored 3. Rava's try in the corner. Mate, nobody else would have scored that. It's a great try, that one, Rava's try.
Well, it was, and again, I don't want to just stick with you, but it's one of the things that a lot of people criticise Moses Sully of is that he can't pass. But I don't know. Have a look at the replay of that try and see who threw the last pass.
That's right. Exactly right.
All right, we'll move on now, and we'll go into probably the only segment that I've actually got prepared for tonight, and certainly the only one that we've got an intro for. But we'll go into this. It's the greatest segment in the vodcast world. I love it, and I'm sure all you do too. There ain't nothing but heroes and villains, more villains than heroes. What can you tell? What from the next? Can you go down from zero? There ain't nothing but heroes and villains, more villains than heroes. What do you got for us, Matty?
Mate, we got the good, the bad, and the ugly tonight. So we'll start off with the good stuff. We'll go with the hero first. Could not go past Blocker Laurie. He was in absolutely bloody everything. Got his second ever try. Didn't have to wait 90 games for this one. And from what I could tell from the post-try celebration, he's got a bit of a boot on him as well. He absolutely belted the shit out of that ball. He had to shrug a few of his teammates off to do it. They're all bloody in his way. Now we've got actually got a couple of villains this week. So as many of our viewers would know, during the week the Dragons actually launched their new official podcast called The Dragon's Den. Now, it's created out of a radio station which is owned by Win Corporation and hosted by a guy named Christian McEwen. Now, within the first 30 seconds of the first episode, this McEwen character has basically taken a shot at the Red V podcast and the host, Jack Clifton, saying, quote, "This isn't some guy in his garage with a sock," unquote. And in doing so, has pretty much alienated the fan base before the podcast has even started. Now, that's pretty unprofessional conduct, in my view, from a guy I just cannot see doing anything other than, paying the club lip service. So on behalf of the Mad Dragons podcast, I'd like to extend an invitation to this Christian McEwen. If you've got the stones to come on the show, let us know. We'll get you on, and we'll ask you a few questions that you won't be able to dodge. Now, the second villain probably won't come as a surprise to anyone. Referee Chris Sutton. He tried to give the Titans as many opportunities as he possibly could in what was described by Big T as an absolutely diabolical performance by a very, very subpar referee. I'm surprised we actually won that game with all the help that he tried to give the Titans. So the Dragons Den, Christian McEwen and Chris Sutton, you're our villains for this week. Back to you, Donnie.
Yeah, mate. It's funny. There's so many heroes today, and I think today is a day to celebrate the heroes. And but I mean, your segment really is one where we tend to focus on the villains a little bit, and certainly the old mate with the Dragons Den, the official St. George Illawarra podcast. I totally agree with you, mate. I invite him to come on and prove to us that he's actually a Dragons fan, first of all, because he looks like a corporate stooge. To Dragons fans out there, he looks like a corporate stooge. He's paid by Win Corporation to say nice things about the Dragons. Come on our show and cop a barrage of questions from our panel and prove that you actually give a shit about this club, because I don't think he does. I think he's a fake fan. I think he's a guy that is paid to say nice things about the club, and for him to have a crack at the most popular, and I know that some of our panel members might want to think that we're the most popular one going around, but let's not kid ourselves. Jack Clifton and the Red V podcast is the number one show in town. They've been around longer than we have, and let's be frank, they put on a more professional show than we do, and Jack's there on the ground, got some experience in media. He's the guy that should be hosting the St. George Illawarra Dragons official podcast. He's the guy that should be hosting it. Like, just give Jack Clifton greater access to information, greater access to players, and he will produce you a fantastic show. He's already got a great following. You don't need to bring in Win Corporation. So this is another case of our club creating a problem where there shouldn't be one. Like, they could have handled this so much better, and it would have been received by Dragons fans as a positive, like one of their own being brought into the fold. It could have been a fantastic thing, but the club have stuffed it up. So I think they've got that completely wrong. And as for Chris Sutton, I think it's remarkable that the Dragons, despite the fact that we had this bloke as the referee, was able to come in and yeah, we were still able to get a win. Hasbeen, you've got a bit more to say.
Yeah, I do, Donny. So might be interesting to note as well, when the Dragons first announced the Dragons Den on their Twitter page, the comments were absolutely brutal, to the point where they've actually deleted the post and basically redone it. And basically the same thing has happened. Fans have just gone on there and absolutely slaughtered them. I think that just adds to the whole unprofessionalism of, basically how they've gone about it.
Sorry, I'm just on mute. I just had another message come through at the same time. I think I put the link for this one in the wrong chat group. So that's getting a few questions coming through. But yeah, we might go to you, Mick. Mick, you were at the game. Talk us through the experience and what it was that you loved about the game today.
Yeah, g'day, Donny. G'day, boys, and everyone out there. Just in the car coming home from the game, and I just want to quickly reiterate what you said, Donny, and about this new mob having a crack at Jack Clifton's Red Boot podcast. That's not going to wash with Dragon fans that love Jack, and as we all do. And it's a pretty bloody low blow, and it's pissed me right off. And you blokes as well, Matty and yourself, and obviously everybody else on the panel. So. Be very interesting if this other guy decides to come on and have a chat. But yeah, mate, when we were down early on, I thought, this isn't going to look very good. We're going to need to sort of pick it up. And then all of a sudden, we started to put a few points on. And little mate, he's going to be very good for us. Of course, Blocker getting his second try. I should have actually filmed that with the stadium went mad when he scored. We all love Blocker. He's just a great Dragons passionate player, and to get over, it was really great to be there to see him do it. I thought Silly played well. Ravalawa, he had a bloody beauty. Catching the kickoffs and instead of passing it off, he did about 4 of them. I think 4 straight hit-ups to give the forwards a bit of a break. Lomax, Mahunt, the whole side was actually just on fire together. And I just thought Little in the middle, funny. He just looks really dangerous, mate. And he looks pretty quick with the ball, Sullivan. We're not coming last after what I saw today. And even though people might sort of knocked off the Titans a little bit, I've got a bit of respect for the Titans, always have very close games with us. But that one definitely got away from them. But their kicker, I feel sorry for him. He had a shocker. He kicked about four bombs that went backwards, or literally straight up in the air, and then no one even tried to catch them. They just bounced, and Titans have probably got a page, and their fans are probably crucifying the ball bloke. But overall, mate, very, very impressed with how we actually played as a team in the back line. We were deep. We weren't sort of standing like you could throw a bloody blanket over everybody. We had a good sort of line, and the speed of the play the ball was much quicker. So, I think we've got a lot of improvement in us, as you said, and it's only the first game for us. So just going by that performance, I think the Dragons look all right, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mick. I understand you're driving at the moment, so yeah, it may be difficult to sort of concentrate and all that sort of stuff. So I really appreciate you jumping on and having a chat to us. So that's absolutely fantastic. We might move into the Mad Dragons podcast Player of the Year right now. And I've got to admit, I was watching this game and down 12-2 early on, and then all of a sudden the bench comes onto the field and the game seems to change. We got to about 3/4 of the way through this game, and I thought, is it possible that the best 3 players for the Dragons all came off the bench? And I think there's a very good argument for a couple of blokes that came off our bench that they were amongst our best players today, and it should be no surprise to anyone that the panel has voted as the best player for the Dragons in this game was Jacob Little. I'll go to you, Muzzer. Muzzer, you gave him the 3 votes, as did quite a few other people. Jacob Little, he changed the momentum of the game, didn't he?
Absolutely did. Absolutely. Look, Mboy is a 14 for a reason. He should be at 14 or in reserve grade. The moment that Little came on, changed the direction of the game. The play the ball speed, just the meters out of dummy half, the connection with the other players, connection with the forwards and the backs. Mate, as an old-time hooker, I really loved watching him come out and do what he did tonight. It was just, yeah, look, we've had no disrespect to McCulloch and our former hookers, but yeah, we haven't seen anything out of that from dummy half since probably I like McGuinness just to do a little bit too, but yeah, look, his defense was okay as well. He defended well. Didn't make a lot of tackles, as many tackles as he usually does, but out of dummy half was just dynamic. He just changed the angles, and he changed the direction, and mate, it's what we need. What we needed.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I actually had him with the 2. I don't know, with about 20 minutes to go, I had him with the 2 votes, and I had Josh Kerr as my man of the match with about 20 minutes to go. But obviously, Kerr went off the field. Little continued on causing absolute havoc, and every time he ran, it wasn't just that he was able to take the meters that were on offer after a quick play the ball. He was able to take those meters, and then he seemed to find this ability to then beat the first defender and create something for outside men. It was a fantastic performance from Jacob Little for me. The guy that got the second most votes, actually it was a tie, but the guy that did get the second most votes was Blake Laurie. I'll go back to you, Big T. You gave Blocker the 3 votes. What was it you loved about Blocker's performance here today?
He just fucking went all day. He saved the try towards the end of the game there, where he dived back on the ball and he was going to punch it out, but he missed it and then caught it. Yeah, he was just, all the runs off the ball. If I reckon he ran twice as many meters, I can't remember what his meters were, but he probably ran twice as many of those meters because of his off the ball runs and his decoy runs. Tackled his heart out. I haven't got the figures in front of me, but yeah, no, I thought Blocker was the man of the match today.
Top the tackle count.
Yeah, he did. He was top of the tackle count. Muzz, do you have the rest of the stats there for Blocker in terms of missed tackles and all that sort of stuff while you've got them up there?
Yeah, mate, he only missed 4 tackles. Made 111 metres, 4 tackle busts, which was pretty good for a big front rower like him, and a line break, which is very uncommon for a big front rower too. He did have a great game. I had him in.
Obviously, the line break was when he scored that try. So,
well, let's not get technical, all right?
We'll give him a line break.
Oh, he deserves a line break. He did have a great game. I thought he really muscled up early on. And I think Frankie Molo might come in for a bit of criticism as well. But I thought Blocker and Frankie Molo early on actually set a really nice platform in terms of their aggressiveness in defence. Certainly, there were some issues, and I'd be interested to see in terms of, while you've got the stats there, Muzz, maybe have a bit of a look in terms of penalties conceded, whether they went against Blocker or Frankie Molo. Certainly early on, they were trying to get up quick, get in their face. There was some line speed, and really tried to impose themselves on the Gold Coast Titans. There was you know, penalties obviously hurt us early on and cost us a couple of tries, I think. But Muzzle, did they go against the front rowers from what you can see from the stats?
Oh, I can't see it individually, but the penalties were quite even. But obviously like 8-7, reckon Brisbane 2-1. So they're all pretty even all the way around. But individually, mate, I'm not looking at that right now, no.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look myself, and nobody's got multiple penalties against for the game. Blake Laurie had one against him, Moses Mbai one against him. So it was obviously a couple of blokes that were encroaching and getting up and putting pressure on to try and close it down. It wasn't just Blocker. I thought a couple. Well, certainly when you watch the coverage, every time there's a penalty for offside, I don't know why, but the camera seems to go straight to Blake Laurie. I don't know whether that's their assumption that he must be offside because a big bloke can't possibly get up that quick. I don't know. But yeah. All right, the guy that actually tied with Blake Laurie in the Mad Dragons Vodcast Player of the Year voting, and it should come as no surprise. He's a guy that's won this award a couple of times before, but Ben Hunt, he also got 8 votes from the panel. It's a larger panel this year than we've had in previous years, so there's quite a lot of people that are voting. I didn't actually give Ben Hunt any votes at all, but Jesse. Good to see you on, mate. I'm sorry I sent the link to the wrong place in the first instance, and yeah, you gave Ben Hunt 2. What was it you liked about Ben's game today?
I thought his leadership, when they were down 12-2, they looked a little lost. I thought he was his leadership and his kicking game really got them back into it. That try he scored from the Lomax offload leveled the game. I thought the way he controlled and the way he got up the team and started firing them up, I thought that's the way the captain should play. And he led with his actions again, like the way he finished last year. And yeah, it was a true captain's knock from him. And yeah, I thought his kicking game proved the difference going into the second half when we had all the momentum. And yeah, once we scored all those points, Ben Hunt was a crucial link in that win tonight.
Yeah, I certainly didn't think he had a bad game. I just didn't have him in our top 3. I thought he did a lot of good things, and he always does a lot of good things. And I think that might be my problem in that I sort of expect Ben Hunt to play at about that level. He didn't exceed what I expect from Ben Hunt, so that might be why he didn't get votes from me. But I certainly thought that he was incredibly important to what we did out there today, and I'm sure came up with a couple of try assists and was involved in everything good that we did. I might go to you, Hasman, a bloke that was on debut today. He ended up getting a concussion and a bit of a head knock, but he played some pretty decent minutes. It's been a criticism of Hook in recent years that he doesn't really give the young blokes enough time out there. But I thought that Toby Couchman got plenty of minutes to show what he's got to offer. What did you think of the young bloke on debut?
No, but 100% agree. I get the feeling we'll probably lose him next week to the concussion protocols, which is a real shame. He had a really great 34 minutes he ended up having before he went off, including 10 runs for 91 meters. I can really see him nailing down a bench spot if he can play consistently the way that he did today. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of him, and possibly might be seeing his brother Ryan as well.
Oh, he got belted earlier on, didn't he? Earlier on in the match.
straight
Absolutely
up.
snotted. But he stood
straight
straight back
up,
up. Give credit to the boy. Credit to the boy. He stood straight back up. Anyway,
No, sorry, mate. I was looking for the unmute button, and I'd moved the screen across. And also, yeah, this is why we're not the official Dragons podcast, because we do sort of lack that little bit of cohesion. But
I think
like
we're
the
getting better.
like the Dragons, I think it'll get better over time, mate. I think
We
we get
will.
better. We get better every week. Certainly, a game like today where we play on the Sunday, the last game on the Sunday, and then go straight into this. It is quite difficult, but there's so many good performances to talk about. Muzza. Oh, yeah, I'll go to you, Muzza. There's so many good performances to talk about. One of the other ones I wanted to chat about was Mika Ravalawa. Mika looked like an absolute meat-axe out there today, and he wanted work. He just wanted to eat it up. What do you think of Mika's performance today?
Well, mate, I was actually going to ask you who gave him votes, because he got my two. And mate, like you said, he was everywhere. He was belting the
He got
ball
my
up.
one.
He was like he come in one or twice. Oh, hang on. We still on? We're still on?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Yeah, keep going, mate. I was trying to close the chat window and I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, good, mate. Yeah, like I said, I was surprised he didn't get in the 3-2-1, mate. He was just a beast, just running that ball up. Yeah, that try, like Big T just said, not many others would have scored that. But yeah, mate, I was really impressed with the meters, the post-contact meters that he got. Yeah, look, if that's what we're going to get out of him every week, well, there's been a little bit of criticism about Rava over the last year or so after his injuries and suspensions and stuff, but that's what we need from him. And mate, if he gives us that every week, yeah, mate, going good, Rava. And my little fella loves him. My little fella loves him when he scored that try today, mate. He jumped around, he had a couple of dabs and stuff, and yeah, he loved it.
Well, Big T, you were certainly one that in the group chat was commenting that you don't think too many other wingers would have scored the try that he scored today.
I don't know. There's some really, really good wingers out there, but he went low. He had three players coming across on him, and he stayed in. Like, that's just power from our winger. Yeah, from our right side winger. He's just all power. He's a beast.
Can I just quickly say, Don, that try that Ravalawa scored was scored pretty much right in front of me. He had no room to move, and he's a big wheel, and he's a big guy. There was literally just about nowhere for him to go without bloody going out, and somehow he bloody got the ball down. He really actually should not have scored that try. That's more like something Nightingale might have done because he's smaller. But Ravalawa, the size he is, I was surprised he could even get there.
It's something I've seen Rubber do a number of times before, where he like Zach Lomax was perfect for it in terms of giving Rubber no room to work in, and then Mika just goes for the corner, and it doesn't matter if they've got 17 players or come across in cover. He ain't moving. Like, he is a freaking house. Like, this bloke is. He has got the best foundations I have ever seen on any human being, because you can't move him if he doesn't want to be moved. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about watching this bloke play. I thought it was and it wasn't just that try. I thought he, like, every time the Titans kicked off, I'm going to kick the other way, because Mika Ravalawa coming back at you at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Why do you want that? Why do you keep wanting that? They kept kicking to him, and he would catch it and bring it straight back as soon as he caught it at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And you have got to stand in front of Mika and want to tackle him, because if you have any apprehensiveness, he is going to run over the top of you. I thought he was absolutely sensational today. And yeah, I didn't give him any votes, but he was certainly a bloke that I thought had a really, really good, solid game.
And he was one of the best guys on the field, Donnie, by far, just as you said. You know, I was very impressed with the fact that he was taking the kickoffs, and when he even dived to get one of them, and then instead of maybe getting up and passing it off the ground or whatever, he got off the ground and started to charge into the forwards. And I just thought, wow, like, you know, maybe Ravalawa was trying to sort of hook, put me in the forwards, because he certainly took a lot of heat off the forwards when some of our boys were a bit buggered. he's just a great player, man. And as you know, I'm not one of the voting type, but if I was, yeah, he definitely would have got it. Jacob would have been my 3 if I was going to vote. He would have got my 3, and probably I thought Sully played pretty well as well. So he could probably get the 2, but Blocker, being a crowd favourite in Nicky's try. I'll give Blocker the 2 and 1 for Ravalawa, just because I just think he lifted the team with how he played today.
Yeah,
Any one of 4 or 5 people could have got the 3 points today.
Oh, the whole side was good, mate. The whole, that's why I don't really like the voting, because you leave other guys out. You could give it to 2 or 3 other guys as well. It's it's pretty hard.
Yeah, Hasman, you've got something to add there?
Yeah, look, Mick's absolutely right. I actually said to you, Donny, sort of during the game, if it keeps going this way, picking a 3-2-1 is going to be an absolute bloody nightmare. And that's exactly what transpired. I had an absolutely shocking time trying to pick my top 3. There was just so many people that could have been. You give me 6 goes at it, I'd have 6 different combinations of 3-2-1. It was just a great all-round performance, and can't wait to see what we can put up against the Broncos next week.
Yeah, and I think I know Mick doesn't like it, but for me, that's the problem with the Dally M and the beauty of the Mad Dragons Vodcast Player of the Year is that we've got 8 different people that are voting on this. So it comes down to a majority vote. There are people that I might leave off that I thought had fantastic games, like Mika. I wasn't able to find a single vote for Mika Ravalawa, but a number of people were, and he certainly gets a few votes. He doesn't finish in the top 3, but there's a lot of people that thought that he was in our best 3 players. So it does make it a little bit more even and a little bit more fair. I think that the more people that you get involved in this process. Another bloke that did have a fantastic game, Jesse, didn't finish in the top 3, but was only just below it. Tyrell Sloan came into this game with a hell of a lot of pressure on him. They tested him out with a few bombs, but he stood up to it all and had some fantastic moments. You gave some votes to Tyrell. Talk us through your feelings on his game.
I thought, he had a slow start, a couple errors at the start of the game, but I thought as the game went on, he looked much more sharper. I mean, that try he set up for Little, run to the post, that was a beauty. Like, he was there when Hunt got the ball to him, and he looked much better as the game went on. As Muzza said in the chat, he's got to be involved in the game and going looking for the ball. When he did do that and played eyes up footy, that's when he looked his best. And I hope he just gets on the back of that and keeps going for the rest of the year, because that'll give him a world of confidence knowing that he could produce a game like that tonight. And all the game looking at him, and he was fantastic, I thought. And he's got to try himself. He's another one of the long list of players I thought was pretty well tonight. And actually, in a few of the sites too, you got him and Ben Hunt were tied for best player. So he could have easily got my best player as well. It was that much of a headache to pick three, narrow it down to 3 tonight, because he was terrific in attack.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I don't think he did too much wrong in defence either. You mentioned attack, but there was that moment there in the game where Josh Kerr took a hit up, sort of stepped through, found his front, got up, and as soon as he played the ball, and I saw that it was Tyrell Sloan at dummy half, I thought we're on here. Straight away, it rushed through my head. We're on here. There's a chance. He has got out of dummy half after a quick play the ball. He's going to step through it and be a chance of going through and creating some havoc. And that's exactly what happened to set up our first try for Jacob Little. I just thought Tyrell Sloan picked his moments to get involved in the game. I honestly think he's still got a lot more to offer. I think that he can be a lot better than he was tonight. I think that more involvement is going to be better for Tyrell, but that's going to come over time. That's going to be an evolving project. And I just think his ceiling is so high. And
How much of David Peachey can you see in Tyrell Sloan? Like that play we ran from dummy half, that was a Peachey play, and he noticed 2 tired forwards, and he said, "Oh, I've got them straight through," and passed the ball, and rest is history, you know.
yeah, right, you're right, mate. And I think that comparison to David Peachey has made a lot.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I understand that, because the way he glides across the field, it does look. He looks so much like David Peachey with his long limbs and the way that he moves around the park. I do see that comparison, but I'd like to make a more modern comparison. I see a lot of Tom Trbojevic in what he does. Like he's nowhere near. Like, don't get me wrong, he's nowhere near Tom Trbojevic right now, but in what he is capable of doing, the skill set that Tyrell Sloan has, I think he has all the same skills, all the same, the things that he's good at. I think it's very similar to what Tom Trbojevic is good at, and if he continues to work on his game, continues to grow, I think his ceiling is like almost unlimited. Like he is capable of being just an incredible player. Obviously, he's going to continue to be tested, though. So we'll see how he goes.
Well, like you say, Donny, I agree with you with Slaney, because he sort of looks like he glides across the ground. Other players run on the ground. He looks like he glides across the ground, and Peachey sort of glided across the ground. Is probably the best. Well, you said silky, I think you said, and that's just sort of how he looks. He looks very, I can't really think of the proper word I'm trying to find, but I think you sort of hit on it when you just said a lot of people have that Peachey comparison, and you can see it. It's just the way he moves.
How unfortunate he's in the side because Ramsey got sick. That's an unfortunate event. Not for Tyrell Sloan. He's quite happy to slot in and take his place. But
it's interesting you say that, and it sort of, you look at a couple of blokes that are in the side because of unfortunate incidents, and Tyrell Sloan's certainly one of them. That if what is going on with Cody Ramsey didn't happen, I think Tyrell Sloan's playing reserve grade today, and Cody Ramsey he's earned the right to be our number one fullback. Unfortunately, his illness has happened, and Tyrell Sloan has stepped up and taken that opportunity. And the same thing a little bit with Jaden. Well, not a little bit. It's the same thing 100% with Jaden Sullivan. He probably would have been starting in reserve grade this year if it wasn't for what has gone on with Junior Amone. And Junior's been cleared. He's been given the opportunity to sort of come back and play, but I do think he's going to be 3-4 weeks away. From what I've heard about the reserve grade game, he's not in the right mindset. He hasn't trained to play, and I think this is an important thing for people to understand. You can train all you like. You can be as fit as you like, but if you're training not to play, and that's what Junior Amone's been doing all off season. He's been training not to play. He's been training just to keep fit, to keep his fitness up, his weight down, all that sort of stuff. And now all of a sudden he's cleared to play. Like, he didn't think he was going to play all season. You can't just flick a switch and all of a sudden, I'm ready to go. Like, that's not the way it works. He needs to get his hands on the ball, which he probably hasn't done for most of the pre-season. Get his hand on the ball, start doing some ball playing. It's going to take a little while before he's going to be able to play. So Jaden Sullivan's got a couple of weeks, and I might throw it to you, Muzz. How did you think Jaden Sullivan went today?
Look, I thought he was very quiet. He certainly wasn't explosive. I was just going to butt in there, Donny, real quickly on that. Just take you back to Tuesday night's chat with Matty Elliott, talking about how blokes come across being where they are, and his story about how he came across to be with the Dragons. However it may be, he got in with the Dragons, and and played so many games, and that's what these guys got to do. They've got to get that opportunity and take it. And Sloan looked like he did that tonight. Buddy has got to, I think, assert himself a little bit more in attack, especially. Look, he's just, he's not, he probably hasn't set the world on fire like we're all expecting him to, but I think it's going to take a couple of weeks, and he certainly didn't shirk it by any means. I think he's still going to go good with Amone coming back. Depending on how he goes in the next couple of weeks, he'll have a bit of competition there, and hopefully it's a healthy competition, and it bodes well for the first grade side.
Yeah, I think you're right to an extent. I don't think Bud set the world alight, but I also liked some of the little things that he did during the game. Like, he didn't overplay his hand. Some of the things he did didn't really come off. There was a couple of times where I thought you should have thrown that pass, or you shouldn't have thrown that pass, and vice versa. And there was certainly a couple of little moments that I thought he could have done a little better. But overall, I thought he played his role. I don't think he touched enough of the ball. And I've said this about Jayden Sullivan for a long time. Like, Jayden Sullivan is most dangerous when he touches the ball a lot. When he gets the ball, and 90% of the time, all he does is throw a little inside pass, or he passes to the outside, or he catches and passes. That's when he's most dangerous, because he will catch the ball and on one of those 10% of the time, and he will catch the ball, sight a bloke that's moved a little bit too quickly, thinking he's just going to catch and pass again, take the line on, explode through it. And I don't think he touched the ball. I don't think he touched the ball often enough today. That'll come with time. I think he did his job today. I don't think he did anything more. And maybe he'll come in for some criticism, particularly with Junior Amone now being available. But I hope that he gets a few more opportunities to show what he's capable of doing there.
Amone comes back. Sorry, go ahead, Murray. Go.
I was going to say, I think it's just more the expectation that we're giving him. Like, he's going to be the superstar, he's going to be this, he's going to be that. And he doesn't come out and doesn't score 2 tries and set up 3 tries. That he's had a quiet game, but he didn't make any line breaks or tackle busts or line break assists or anything like that today. But I think that comes back to like I said, the expectations that us, the fans, have got on him. And,
he played a very Amone top game when Amone started. Amone barely touched the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had a couple of kicks.
I thought he kicked. Sorry to cut you off there, Big T. But
you're right.
I thought he kicked a lot more than Amone did, and I thought he kicked a lot. And I thought he kicked a lot better than Amone normally does.
I thought he was held back more in attack. Like,
I agree.
He didn't get the ball, like you said. He made a couple of runs to those lines where he jinks off the right, and goes over. He tried that a couple of times, didn't get through. The Titans defence were onto him. But I'll ask the question: what happens when Amone comes back? Where does Bud go?
I don't think Bud goes anywhere. I think Moses Mbai goes somewhere.
Moses Mbai is our starting hooker.
No, he's not.
Well, he started today.
Yeah, everyone, take yourself off mute. Take yourself off mute right now. Tell me Moses Mbai, our starting hooker. Get fucked. No way.
No fucking way.
I totally agree. He's
Hang
got
on,
to go
have we got
when
Hooker?
Amone comes back. Jacob Little pushes up into the side, and Sullivan goes to 14.
I think Junior Amone goes to 14. Junior Amone played 4 games off the bench at dummy half last year and was pretty decent.
Yeah.
So I think Jayden Sullivan is a better half than Junior Amone is.
Yeah, he's a half though. He's not a 5'8".
Yeah, half 5'8". Regardless, he's better than he is better than Junior Amone.
Same.
They're similar, yes, but
in my opinion,
the halfback drives the team around more in the side.
Like, let's talk about it a bit more, Hasman. Everyone go back on mute, except Hasman. But let's talk about Moses Mbai's role in this team. Like, were you happy with Mbai starting and Jacob Little coming off the bench?
Not particularly. There was a noticeable difference in in our attack when he finally did get dragged off. Soon as Little came on, it was on for young and old. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Junior Ramon take that 14 role, or maybe basically do the same thing as what Hook did today with Mbai. Start him for 20 minutes, piss him off, and let Little come on and run at the bloody Tide forwards. But as far as the hooking role goes, as far as I'm concerned, Mbai can go do that in bloody reserve grade.
Yeah. No, I don't mind. I don't mind this idea of starting somebody else at 9 and then having Little come on after to 20, 25 minutes and having the impact that he does. Like I'm not convinced that Jacob Little has that sort of impact if he starts this game. I think he was absolutely sensational. He comes on, he plays, 55, 60 minutes of the game and changed the course of the game as soon as he come on. But my issue with this strategy is you need somebody that is better than Moses Mbai to start at 9. You can't have Moses Mbai start at 9. If we've got Connor Mullison, if he starts at 9 and plays 20, 25 minutes, and then Jacob Little comes on, I think we're a hell of a lot better off than we are with starting with Moses Mbai. I don't agree with it. If what we've got is what we're going to run with, then you've got to start with Jacob Little. He is 1,000 times better than Moses, and we can't expect. I'll go to you, Big T, if you're there. I don't know if you're there. I can't see you at the moment, but we can't expect to come from 12-2 down every week if Moses Mbai starts every week, can we?
I don't think so, no. Don't get me wrong. I like Moses Mbai. He's a solid player. He plays many, many positions. He plays more positions than Jaden Sullivan could play. I don't think, coming back every week with Moses Mbai starting. No, I think it's time for the little M to move on and pass on the torch.
Yeah, Jesse, we've got one that's come through in the comments, and I actually agree with this, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. So I don't know whether it's worth wasting our voices on. Still, Connor has come out and he has put in the comments 6, Junior Amone, 7, Jaden Sullivan, 9, Ben Hunt, and 14, Jacob Little. I don't know. What do you reckon? Do you think there's any chance of ever happening?
No chance. Hunt's made it clear he's said it many times. At club level, he'll always be a halfback.
Is Hunt the coach or is Hook the coach?
Well, yes, Hook's the coach, but yeah. I think for the time being, as long as we've got Ben Hunt, he's the best halfback we've got at the club. And he's going to stay there until he moves on. They just have to leave it as it is. I think Bud will grow into the role as he plays more games. It's still Ben Hunt running the team. I think that's contributing to why Sullivan didn't have as much of a say in the game tonight. But yeah, while ever Ben Hunt's in the team, he'll be the halfback. And I think Jacob Little's most suited at 9. I think Moses can say Mbai.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think over the course of the year, I expect to see Jacob Little become an 80-minute hooker. And I think that's the most important thing at the moment for the Dragons. If Connor Mullison, I actually have I've got a fairly big rap on Connor Mullison. I think he provides better service than any dummy half that we've got. I don't think he's overly dynamic in terms of his running game isn't very good, but he's defensively very strong. He provides better service than anybody else. I think he is perfect, absolutely perfect to play that role for the first 20, 25 minutes, come out and get us on the front foot where there's not a lot of opportunity to run, and then have Jacob Little come on and play the last 55, 60 minutes. I think that is an opportunity waiting to happen, but he's not in the top 30 at the moment. It's not a chance that the Dragons are going to take at this stage of the game. So I think we're stuck with Moses Mbai. We don't really have a better option in our top 30 to take that second dummy half role. Is there anybody you see in our top 30, Muzz, that can potentially take that role of the second dummy half other than Moses Mbai?
No, not really, unless Connor is in the 30. Apart from the other options that we've already said, we've got Monet, we've got Sullivan and Hunt if they do that change around, and that all sounded pretty good until we got Jacob Little and saw what he could do today. I think before today, that option of Hunt, that it's never going to happen. We all know that, but it was still a good option to put in at 9 and have the young guys at 5'8" and halfback. But the way he played today, yeah, look, with Monet back, you've got him and Sullivan at 6 and 14, whichever way it is. But that's the way I think we've got to go.
Yeah, Hasman, I might go to you with what I think is actually the toughest question of the night. Apart from Moses Mbai, is there anybody else that you thought didn't quite perform to expectations tonight and might be under a little bit of pressure coming into next week's game?
I not that immediately sort of comes to mind. Just going through the team list, I can't think of anyone that was sort of more absent than they should have been.
Yeah, like I said, it's a tough question. I sort of looked at it myself and thought, I don't know, Matty Fenoi, I actually thought he didn't do too badly. I thought he diffused a couple of kicks and did some good things, but I thought his involvement was a little bit below probably where it needs to be. To have a winger that's only run for 48 meters. He might be the only one that I target, and that's pretty unfair to Matty. I thought he did a lot of good things, but yeah, if I had to pick somebody, he might be one that I'd look at. Jesse, I might throw to you now. You've just thrown up a bit of a question. Jack de Belin potentially available for selection next week. Who misses out from this Dragon side if de Belin is available and everybody else is available?
I don't really know. That's a very hard question to answer. You couldn't fault anyone on that performance tonight. That everyone did their job, and as they say, you don't change a winning team. But it looks like Couchman may he didn't look too good when he come off. So if he doesn't pass concussion protocols to play next week, I'd put de Belin on the bench. That's probably the way I'd go. I couldn't change the starting lineup based on their performance tonight. But yeah, I expect a tougher game against Brisbane next week, being at their big forward pack and the way they're going to start the year. But if fit, that's where I'd probably put him if Couchman's unavailable.
Well, maybe put de Belin at hooker. Sorry, I tried to keep a straight face for as long as I could on that.
At least he'll make some tackles, unlike Mbai.
Is it time for an ad, Donny? Time for an ad? If you haven't got your Mag Bag podcast t-shirt yet, get it now. They're absolutely fantastic. I had to buy a smaller one because the one that I bought was too big, so I gave it to my son. And he's 6'5" and 150 kilos, so it fits him. But the new t-shirts. Come on, Dragons fans, fire up on the back. Let's go, baby. You haven't got one? Go and get one. They got caps, they've got hats, they've got jackets, they've got everything. Get out there and buy your merchandise.
Fantastic, Big T. I didn't have that on the agenda, but yeah, no, I mean, you look fantastic in the shirt, and obviously it fits absolutely perfectly. Give us a look at the back, mate, while while you're there.
Oh, hang on. I don't know if I can get this on there.
Oh, Jesus. There we go. That was a bit of calisthenics. There's the back of your head.
Okay, it's back in your head. All right, yeah. You know what it is. Come on, Dragon fans. Fire up!
That's what it says on the back. So, yeah, jump on.
Put fire
to
up on the back of your head, Big T.
Hey, mate. I bought 2.
That's it. So it's on our Etsy store. If you go to Etsy and look up the Mad Dragons podcast, you should be able to find us. If you can't, then send us a PM and I'll let you know how to track it down. But yeah, I mean all the kit that I've got from them has been sensational. And like you say, it is really comfortable. There's a range of different colours to choose from as well. So yeah, whether you like the red or the black or the if
green or the blue.
If there's something wrong with you and you like maroon, then you can also get that. We do offer that, but that's for those that have got mental problems. So
well, I'd just like to say, Dragons, great win today. I've got to go. Thank you for your time, guys. Have a great rest of the night.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us, Big T. And
that's great, mate. That's great. Thank you very much. Dragons for life, baby. Dragons
See you,
for
buddy.
life.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, we're not too far away from wrapping up here. Big T's got to take off. But Jesse, you sort of actually, I might go to you, Mick. You sort of haven't had a question for a while. Next week, taking on the Brisbane Broncos up in Suncorp. We've struggled a little bit with away form. Do you think we can take something that might be competitive against the Broncos next week?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Just with that performance tonight, I think that's going to really lift the boys. So I think we've got a really good chance against the Broncos, mate. Because today I thought the game I expected it to be a lot closer than how it ended up. I thought that if we lose, we might lose by 4 or 6 or something. If we win, it'll be by 4 or 6. That's sort of how close I thought tonight's game was going to be, and we really just sort of took charge of it. So I think psychologically, that win is going to be massive for us going to Brisbane. And I actually reckon we've got a pretty good shot, mate. After what I saw, and I think I really was surprised because I must admit I'd heard his name, but I didn't really know sort of too much about him. But he just seems to fit into that Dragons lineup very nicely. And he looks like he's going to be a very good player for us. And he might be the difference for us this year. Definitely better than what we've had.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I was just going to comment on, Mick. I don't know about fitting into the Dragons lineup. I think he changes us in a positive way, and I think that's the key for Jacob Little is that he makes us better. And I think a number of the guys that have come in. One guy we haven't spoken about, Ben Murdoch-Masila, Jesse. I thought he made a big difference there on the edge. He did seem to get tired there towards the back end. I don't know that he's an 80-minute edge forward, but he certainly made a big difference and made an imprint on the on the faces of the Titans today.
Yeah, that's it. Like he made his presence felt, but yeah, as you said, he looked gassed after a while, and the lack of back rolls we had on the bench. You pointed out earlier that Mbai came on maybe as a lock, and they maybe put Bird on an edge just to give Murdoch-Masila a spell. Yeah, I don't know if he is an 80-minute back row going forward. But yeah, he did what he had to do tonight and got the job done. But against these bigger, faster sides, I don't know if he can keep it up. But we'll see how he goes for the coming weeks. And yeah, hopefully he can work on his match fitness and yeah, hopefully he can get some more minutes into him. But we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Right, I might go to you quickly, Muzz, just to have a quick chat about lower grades. Our lower grade performances not too flash, both the Jersey Flegg and New South Wales Cup going down this week. Is that a concern for you that we're not getting a lot of pressure coming from those lower grades on the top grade?
I did not see any of them.
No one saw any of them. You can't bloody watch them.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
But just looking at the scores.
Didn't see it or didn't hear much of it. But yeah, looking at the scores, I think I made comment on our chat that we had like 8 on graders in that New South Wales Cup side, and that sort of concerns me a little bit that we get beaten like that. I don't know a lot about the Bulldogs reserve grade side, but there's not a lot of players in that side that I sort of really heard. But it does concern if you've got grades forming, if you've got the blokes in the first grade, getting a little bit cocky or complacent in their performances. If they have an average performance and you've got these guys that aren't performing in the lower grades, well, we need those guys to be putting pressure on these guys every single week. The guys that are on the fringe, but we've got to want them thinking that they need to play well to be in the side. If we've got our lower grades not playing well or not performing, you're not going to get that.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I think so long as the top grade is performing, it's not that big of an issue. But the second that the top grade's not performing, if the lower grades are also like going like bastards, you've got no one to go to. So I sort of hate this attitude that a lot of Dragons fans have that go, oh, such and such is playing poorly, let's replace him with a guy that's playing shit house in reserve grade. Like, that doesn't work. I think the guys in reserve grade need to put pressure on the guys in the top grade. So the fact that we got beat 34-4 today in the New South Wales Cup, the Jersey Flegger under 21s also got fairly well smashed. It was about 32-10, and the 10 points came in junk time as well. We got hammered in both of our direct lower grades. That's not good. And I think that puts a lot of pressure on the top grade guys to continue performing. I mean, particularly from a fan point of view, it doesn't put a lot of pressure on them otherwise, but from the fans need them to keep performing because there's not much behind us on what we saw today. So that's the big concern for me. Hasman, I might go to you with the last one. I'm wary of stealing Benny's thunder on Tuesday night. I'm not going to be on Tuesday night, but the game against the Broncos. I mean, do we expect any changes? And do you think the Dragons are good enough to beat them?
I think probably the only change that we're going to end up seeing is I don't know who it would be, but someone coming in to replace Couchman if he doesn't pass the concussion protocols. I'd be very surprised if they're at, unless there's something goes wrong at training or something. I can see the exact same team lining up against the Broncos. We'll probably have to be a little bit more consistent, in terms of the errors and the stupid penalties against the Broncos. Otherwise, Reynolds is just going to kick us to buggery. We've got to be really careful.
Yeah, well, just on Reynolds, Jesse, is that a concern for you? Particularly, I suppose, with Tyrell Sloan at the back, he's going to be a real target for Adam Reynolds, isn't he?
Definitely. Adam Reynolds has one of the best long kicking games in the NRL. He's going to be studying the video. Yeah, he's going to bomb him all night now that he's a bit suspect under the high ball. So he'll be definitely peppering him all night and putting as much pressure on him as possible to get him off his game. Hopefully he'll be ready for that and knows that what's coming his way, because if he drops one or two, Reynolds will just keep kicking to him all night. He'll need the support of the guys too to get him rounded and give him the confidence. I hope that work on that at training this week, that Ben Hunt throws kicks some bombs to him all week, because that's what they'll need going up to Suncorp later this week. Because as I said, Reynolds has one of the best kicking games in the comp, and if he has a good night, they are going to be very hard to beat.
Absolutely, mate. Well, we'll just get everyone off mute and we'll wrap up the show. The Dragons, 32 points to 18 winners. It's a great start to the year. I am absolutely pumped for next week after seeing that. So we'll wrap it up as we usually do. Come on, Dragons fans! Fire!
Fire! Top four.
Well, we're there now. Let's stay there.
I fair.